So, Romil, you are preparing for DRDO Scientist B and you have prepared the subject of operating system. So, let's start your snap. So, can you tell what is memory management?
Memory management is a method in operating system to manage service between secondary memory and main memory while executing a service or while executing a process.
Okay. And what are the functions of memory manager?
Ma'am, deallocating memory, then after that protections, device, then device input output.
Okay,
And
how
the
is it
management.
allocating the memory?
Ma'am, ma'am, use a two technique to allocate memory. That is one technique is contiguous and the second is non-contiguous. So in contiguous, it allocate the memory. Allocate the memories. Allocate the process when process arrive, then arrive, then only the partition memory divided into partitions, and that allocated partitions process are inserted into that. And the second method is, ma'am, in non-contiguous, in which there is no because in in contiguous, what happen is there is a external fragmentation. Due to that, non-contiguous is used. Due to that, there will be no external fragmentations. So what is happened, there's no compulsory of having allocate memory contiguously. For that, first the process is divided into pages and memory is divided into frame, and for that all the pages of the process are loaded into the memory, but not need to be contiguous.
Can you tell an example of contiguous allocation?
Oh, ma'am, example like there's ma'am, there's a fixed contiguous like ma'am, so like a base fit, first fit, worst fit. It's a contiguous allocations only, but it's a
Is
dynamic.
done on
Ma'am, it is
done on what kind of
dynamic,
where?
ma'am, dynamic partitions.
No, dynamic partitions is okay.
Yes, ma'am.
In dynamic partitions, you are using first fit and best fit, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And how is it performed? Like, suppose you have a memory.
Yes, ma'am.
And how will you perform on that first fit?
Ma'am, what will happen, ma'am, whenever have to allocate a process to that memory. First, it will scan memory management. What it does, it scan the list right from the beginning to the end, and wherever it find right from the beginning, and wherever you get the space where you can fit the process, insert it over there, right over there. So the time taken to scan, this is the best. This is the best strategy known for allocating a memory.
Okay. So, can't it be used in fixed partitions?
No, ma'am, it can't, ma'am. Actually, it can be used in, because if suppose if there is space available, maybe there is a partition, maybe which is big enough to fit that process, then it can be allocated, ma'am. Still, it can be, because it has to only to do with if there is a size available or not. But still, there will be the problem is there will be, if it is fit, there could be a internal, if there will be external fragmentations, and it could be internal fragmentation also, ma'am. Internal fragmentation could be there, ma'am.
The internal fragmentation will be in what? Fixed or variable?
Sorry, ma'am.
Internal fragmentation is there in fixed or variable partition? Or dynamic?
Ma'am, dynamic is there. Ma'am, dynamic it is not there, internal fragmentation, but the fixed it could be there, ma'am.
Okay, and about external fragmentation?
Ma'am, about the external fragmentation in dynamic, it is there, and in the fixed partitioning, it is there, because internal fragmentation is there. It means external fragmentation will be there. Yes.
Can you explain both the terms, internal and
Ma'am, in internal fragmentations, the space allocated to that process is still some space left in that partitions. I mean, if a space is allocated for the process to that partition, it fill that partition by process, but still there is space left. That's called internal fragmentation. That is unused space. So it cannot be allocated to any other process. And external fragmentation, it is the sum of all the internal fragmentation. By sum of all the internal fragmentation such a way it cannot be, it is non-contiguous. All the unused spaces are non-contiguous, so it cannot be allocated to any other process. It's called the external fragmentations.
okay, can you tell the degree of multi-programming that will be there in the fixed partitions and variable partitions?
Ma'am, degree of in fixed partition will be fixed because the partition is fixed. So number of partition is fixed in fixed partitioning mein, so in the degree of programming will be less. Means fixed number of degree of multi-programming will be there. It cannot vary. But in that in variable partitioning, because since the process allocate partition a partition is done when process arrived and equal to the size of the process. So what happened, the degree of programming will vary over there, so it will increase, it will be good, and so CPU utilization will be more.
Okay, have you heard about overlays?
Sorry, ma'am.
Overlays, have you heard about it?
Overlay, ma'am. No, ma'am. Overlay, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, overlay. I didn't heard them properly. Sorry. Yes, ma'am. Actually, it is a technique to. It is a technique used in fixed partitioning to use the unused space. I mean, small amount of partition which is done. So, in the condition when the size of the process is greater than the partition available in the main memory. So, what will happen over there? It only load only some part of the process, but and allocated to that partition which is not contiguous only, and then when that completed, then swap with the remaining one and execute the remaining part of the process, load it in that adjoint partitions and execute it. And that is overlay technique used in fixed partitioning.
Okay, can you tell few non-contiguous techniques, memory management?
My non-contiguous technique is compactions, bitmap, and
Okay, have you heard about what is paging?
yes, ma'am, paging, yes, ma'am.
So it is what is it an allocation technique?
Yes, ma'am, it's a allocation technique, ma'am.
Which one, contiguous or non-contiguous?
It's non-contiguous, ma'am.
Okay, so why did you say?
Sorry, ma'am.
I asked you about non-contiguous allocation, yeah? You didn't
Yes,
say paging.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, what is multi-level paging?
Multi-level paging is a scheme of table which are two or more table attached in hierarchy manner.
And what is a paging? Can you explain more on it?
Paging is a technique used to divide the memory into frames and process into a pages in such a way if there is a space left, if there is space available and which cannot be allocated, which space available in which, but it is non-contiguous, it can be allocated to that that partition, the small amount of memory there, so that it could be used, use the memory efficiently and increase the performance and CPU utilization as well, ma'am.
Can you tell what is why did we feel that we should have the multi-level paging when the paging was already there?
Yes, ma'am. Because, ma'am, a situation as if the size of the process is very large, so the number of it means the number of frames is very much. Then size to store those page table. So number of entry become very large in the page table. So it cannot be hold in one page table because it will become greater than the frame size of the frame. So it become more than all the entries of the process of the page, all the information of the page pages of the process are when stored in a page table, it becomes greater than the size of the process, size of the frame. Then it cannot be. Then in that condition, you have to track up all those pages, all the pages of the page table. I mean, to track up all the page table. To track up all the page table, need another page table to track up all those page table which are in more which are not fitting which are more than one page table in the second level, I mean inner page table. So to fit all those page table in one single page table, that is in outer page table, we need another page table.
Can you tell what is the demand paging?
And demand paging is it is I mean it is a it is a method which is used in a virtual memory which load the page only when required.
Okay, and where is it used?
Ma'am, it is used in virtual memory, ma'am, whenever frame is allocated to that process, in the beginning when the process starts, there's no pages for that process in the frame. So it load the page when asked, and because of that, there's no page in the frame, there will be page fault, and that's why, because even CPU utilization decreases.
Okay, and have you heard about thrashing?
Yes, ma'am. Thrashing is a condition when arise when page fault becomes too frequent. So because of that, the CPU utilization decreases.
Okay. What are the main reasons for thrashing?
Ma'am, reason for thrashing is number of frame allocated is very small, or degree or because of the algorithm use is not good. Maybe wrong algorithm, not good algorithm used for allocating for page replacement. Algorithm is not good, or because of because of the degree of multi-programming is the degree of multi-program may be more.
Okay, and how can you control thrashing?
Thrashing can be controlled by better page replacement algorithms, and also we control, yes, ma'am, because better better page replacement algorithm, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so let's come to the feedback. Uh, Romil, I felt like this thrashing and virtual memory, this part was really very clear with you,
Okay,
and you have
ma'am.
explained it really well. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
but paging, I am not very satisfied.
Ma'am, which
Multi-level
one?
paging.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Paging. Like I felt like you, if you are having problem, you can just elaborate like by drawing a diagram.
Okay,
It
ma'am.
would have been like more simple to explain it.
Okay, ma'am.
Here, actually, it would be difficult that you draw it in a notebook and then show. But when you will go into the actual interview,
Yes,
there
ma'am.
you will get a screen, and there will be a big screen where interviewers can see on the big screen, and you will be getting a small screen that you can draw. So it
Okay.
will be very easy.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
If you are feeling that any concept you are not able to explain properly in words, just go with the diagrams.
Okay, ma'am.
Especially in this paging and segmentation, all these things,
Okay,
it's
ma'am.
better to explain it with a diagram or inverted paging, all these concepts.
Okay.
In memory management, I didn't ask many questions from this section because I know it's better to go with the diagrams. And I was thinking that you would be prepared with like very nicely prepared with this paging and this segmentation, all those things. But I felt like you were not very good with explaining that things.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay,
And in partitions, I thought like you didn't answer it very well. There is fixed partitions and variable partitions, and best fit, first fit, these things are used in fixed partitions.
okay, ma'am.
Okay, and internal fragmentation is there in fixed, not in variable, that you told correct. But external fragmentation is not there in fixed, it is there in variable.
Can you repeat it once again? When the last, just one, all those time. I actually couldn't hear, ma'am.
Yeah. I said it that there are two types of partitions, fixed and variable partitions. Okay. So best fit and first fit, these type of algorithms are used in fixed partitions, and in variable partitions, we don't have anything allocated. Okay,
Okay.
previously. So it's like an empty memory. We just put the processes. So internal fragmentation is there in the fixed partitions. It is not there in variable partitions, but external fragmentation is there in variable partitions and not in fixed partitions. That means one is having internal, one is having external.
Okay.
Got it? Fixed partitions is like where we have memory and its block has already been divided.
Okay.
And dynamic is like it's an empty memory house. Like once the process comes, we dump into there.
Okay, ma'am.
And
Ma'am.
internal, external also like you didn't explain very nicely.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Anything?
ma'am, one thing I actually have a confusion, ma'am. Actually, you, ma'am, actually said, ma'am, you have said in fixed partitioning there is internal fragmentation. That is true, ma'am.
Yes.
But I am not very clear about this concept, ma'am. If there is internal fragmentations, but there is no external fragmentation, because ma'am, internal fragmentation is there. Then there could be a external there will be a external fragmentation, ma'am. Just because, ma'am.
No. Both are completely different concepts. It is like internal fragmentation. What you told is like we have some memory. Okay. It has been divided into blocks.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. One process, each block is of say 10 KB.
Okay, ma'am.
And we have got a process of 8 KB.
Okay, ma'am.
Fine. Another process we got it of 9 KB. Another process we got of again 9 KB. So the some space is left in each of the blocks, right?
Yes,
2 KB, 1 KB, and 1 KB.
Yes,
Got it? That 4 KB is called internal fragmentation.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now, suppose you have an empty block.
Okay.
Again, you get the same processes. One, you get it of 8 KB, you placed it there. Then you got it of 9 KB, you placed it. And then again, you got it of 9 KB, you placed. Okay. Now, suppose in between this 9 KB goes off.
Okay.
And then new process comes of 12 KB.
Okay, ma'am.
And if our memory is full, we cannot fit this 12 KB into the place of 8 KB. This is called as external fragmentation.
Okay, ma'am.
You got the idea, right?
Yes, ma'am. I understood, ma'am. Ma'am, in that case also, ma'am, still suppose, ma'am, one process left which was having a partition of 8 KB, and process that left was a 6 KB. And then another process come which is bigger than size of the partition. They may not fit any of the place over there. So that part of the partition, part of the main memory which having that partition, which will be left, ma'am. Then can still the means, ma'am, external fragmentation is possible.
I didn't understood your question.
I mean to say, ma'am, the already one process is loaded. I mean, first the all main memory. Sorry, ma'am.
In phase to variable.
Ma'am, actually, there's a 3 partition is done in main memory, and every
you're
side
talking about fixed, right?
Yes, fixed, ma'am. So, ma'am, every partition of 3 KB, and the process I inserted every one of them, and now the one process left, okay, and that partition is now 3 KB is empty. Now again a new process come which is bigger than size, which is a 5 KB. Then in that case, ma'am, that will not be allotted to that partition, and that case external fragmentation is still possible, ma'am, in fixed partition. Is it possible, ma'am?
This is internal only, na?
Ma'am,
internal is like block. There is some space left inside the block. But in variable, there is absolutely no block.
Ma'am, I mean to say, because this process is not allocated to that partition, or any of the process not allocated to that partition, because every process came is bigger than that particular partition, and other partition is completely full. So in that case, ma'am, in that case, process will not be filled up in that, any of the process will not be filled up in that partition for that moment, because other partition completely filled, and that process came, any process came is bigger than partition which is available.
Okay, that is then the problem of the partitions. You didn't partition that properly, or it has not been partitioned correctly in the memory.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, you can give some bigger partitions also. You understood the problem,
Yeah,
right?
got it. Yeah, got it.
Got it, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you can give the partitions as 100 KB also. That is the problem, like management of operating system that doesn't comes in like internal or external. This doesn't has to take anything from internal or external. But internal is if the space is left free in one block, then it is internal. And if the space is like it is not block wise, then it is external
Okay,
fragmentation.
ma'am.
You can just do one thing. I think Aman sir uploaded one operating system video. Have you
Okay, ma'am.
seen it?
No,
You
ma'am,
can
I
just
haven't seen.
see it. Okay.
Okay,
You
ma'am.
can just once see it. I think that will clear the concepts.
Okay, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Ma'am, where is the video, ma'am? Actually, in that OTS, your.
Maybe on notice or you can, some group will be there. I think you can
Okay,
ask there.
ma'am. Sure, ma'am. I'll see that.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.